What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of FORNEVERNEWS, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related. And we don't bore you. We get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
Okay, people, so first story on the docket is a story of something that is honestly a privilege. And what I mean by that is there's certain things in this world, certain pieces of knowledge that is essentially a privilege to obtain. Like, for example, like to just be in somebody's life that maybe they're, seen as a great person and they've done great deeds, and just to be in their life is somewhat of, I guess you would say, a privilege, right? Or just knowing the fact that, let's just say, I don't know, somebody's pregnant. That's a privilege, right? Ultimately, that's a very important and intimate secret that a mother, decides to, if they want to or not, share, or when they're ready or whatnot. Either way, this is something precious. And by no means am I putting what I'm about to say on the level of that. I'm just saying that there's things in this world that are just knowing about it very important to people. And one of those things when it comes to the world of anime and manga in particular is knowing the secret of what is the One Piece. And it's something that is like, we always talk about it. A lot of people joke about it. Oda has kind of somewhat confirmed that at the very least it's not going to be the whole concept of, hey, the One Piece is the friends you made along the way, because that would be disastrous. That would be like on some My Little Pony type of like, Oda, please, for the love of God, there's just no way you're going to end the series like that. So absolutely, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, Oda sticks to his word with saying that, that's not going to happen. But still, the One Piece, you know what I'm saying, we're 1,040 plus chapters as of the recording of this video, still wondering what the hell that sacred treasure is, and what the final island is, and what is it that made Roger laugh. And there's just so many different aspects of One Piece right now that leaves you just with question marks. And with this story in particular, Oda, the creator of One Piece, he rarely gives that insight to people. He rarely tells people. It's a very, very, I guess you would say, hard and well-kept secret. They don't tell many people what the One Piece is. It's a need-to-know basis. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, only very rarely do some editors even get that idea of what One Piece is, because, they don't want it to get out. Like, all it takes is one person to leak it out, and years and decades worth of work will be down the drain if this is the same idea Oda had of what the One Piece would be all the way back in 90-something. I wonder if secretly throughout the years Oda has changed what One Piece will be. Like, maybe initially he started off and it was just going to be treasure, then halfway down the road it was going to be a weapon, then where we're at right now he's changing it to something else. Like, you will never know, obviously, unless he came out in an interview and said, initially One Piece was going to be a box of treasure, and then secondly I was going to make it a joke like it's a box of porn mags. Like, you never know. However, according to this, seemingly Eiichiro Oda has entrusted an editor as a birthday present with the secret of One Piece. And before we even jump into the details of it all, I just gotta say how much of a present that is if you really think about it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I would be mind blown if I knew what the One Piece was right now. But also, there's the burden of knowing what the One Piece is, and millions of people have no freaking idea and would love to know and would swear and would do anything in their power to find out. So now you got this burden on your shoulders of knowing what the actual One Piece is, and people desperately wanting to know and bothering you about it. And until One Piece ends, you're going to be the subject of, tell me about the One Piece. What is it? So yeah, I guess what a birthday present. But let's read and we'll talk some more. By the way, Fornev from the future here. I've come to tell you that your timeline will go drastically wrong if you don't hit the subscribe button and hit that bell to get all notifications. The future is disastrous, all because you didn't subscribe to that channel, dog. Subscribe to ForneverWorld right now. Get that ForneverNews. The future needs you. We need you over here. Please help us. Subscribe. One Piece creator shares secret of the One Piece for birthday celebration. The biggest mystery of Eiichiro Oda's masterpiece of an anime franchise, One Piece, has been what the secret treasure that so many swashbucklers have been searching for quite some time in the One Piece. In the latest arc of the series, the Wano arc, a flashback saw the legendary pirate and former king of pirates, Goldie Roger, discovering the One Piece for the first time and laughing as a result of its discovery. Now it seems that to help celebrate an editor's birthday, Oda himself shared the secret as to what the biggest treasure of the Grand Line is. Since first setting sail to becoming the king of the pirates, Monkey D. Luffy's been working under the assumption that managing to discover the One Piece treasure will solidify his crown within the world of the Grand Line. So far, there hasn't been many hints as to what the treasure might actually be, but considering that Roger threw back his head and laughed once he saw it, we would imagine that it wouldn't be something as predictable as gold and jewels at this point. It's clear that Eiichiro Oda has known the secret for quite some time, and it will be interesting if the conclusion of the Wano arc reveals what the legendary treasure actually is. And in a recent interview with Iwasaki Yuji, an editor for One Piece's manga, it was revealed that Eiichiro Oda had previously told him what the One Piece treasure was as a part of his birthday celebration, with said editor revealing that it was an amazing moment for him while dodging the question of who would be the next member of the Straw Hat Pirates. Again, that's a lot of responsibility. Like, imagine knowing all the secrets of One Piece, and like everybody knows you know all the secrets of One Piece. I'd be scared. I hear a lot. Low key, like there's crazy people. Like, imagine, dog. Imagine I'm rolling around some people that are nuts. Imagine like I'm at a bar and a bunch of people are drunk as hell. A bunch of, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, even though like I don't think a bunch of people at a bar is gonna be. Well, no, I'm lying. I was gonna say a bunch of people at a bar wouldn't be fans of One Piece, but that's probably a stereotype from like 10 years ago that not many people were into anime and manga like that. So yeah, but the likelihood, especially in the Midwest, is definitely very low that I'm going to run into some One Piece fans at a bar. But either way, imagine dudes run up to me like, yo, dog, tell us what the One Piece is, or you know, you're gonna have a problem. Like that shit would be bananas. I ain't gonna lie. Like, hopefully these editors are very well paid and are very discreet with their movements, because there are people that have severe issues, especially like a stalker or something. Yeah. As Oda has stated that the finale of One Piece is over the horizon, we definitely wouldn't be surprised if the secret behind the legendary treasure is answered before the series finale. And, you know, I'll ask the question, why not? But there's so many crazy theories out there. What do you think the One Piece is at this particular point? Also, I guess the better question is I want to ask that isn't so generic is, do you think that over the years, potentially, secretly, Oda to himself has changed the One Piece? Like, imagine prior to telling somebody, or even if the editors did know, maybe the first editor he told, like, you know, when he first got started, oh, the One Piece is just like, you know, gold. But maybe by the time, you know, he was on his fourth editor, he was like, oh, well, you know, I kind of told this dude, but, you know, it's a little bit different now. One Piece kind of changed up a little bit, fam. And maybe in his head, he always be playing around like, yo, what about if I just trolled him? Again, just craziness overall. Either way, shout outs to that editor. At the same time, like, imagine knowing something that's really dope as that, like what the One Piece is. Like, can't wait to find out what it is in another freaking 1,000 trillion years. No, I don't think One Piece will be going on that long. Probably 3 to 4 more years, and it might even still be called Rushed at the end, which will be funny as hell. But yeah, moving forward, fans of Dragon Ball, all of it, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball these, no, Crunchyroll, you're going to be happy. And just in general, if you was thinking about one more reason why you should sign up for the service, this might tip in your favor. Which, by the way, anybody from Crunchyroll watching this, I'm just saying, hit me up, let's work together. I do a little news show over here. We get about, like, you know, 50,000 people damn near every day to watch each one of these episodes, and you know, I'm just saying. But yeah, hit my email, lads. Let's work for real. Like, no, for real. Let's work. Anywho, it says here, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT are now on Crunchyroll. And again, disclaimer, Super was already available from, was it? I can't remember if it was from Jump or not, but Super's been there for a long time, and I want to say it was Jump because maybe I'm off. I don't know. Either way, Super's been on there probably since the beginning, so of it airing. A huge Crunchyroll catalog edition is here with the arrival of Akira Toriyama's entire Dragon Ball saga. Today marks the launch of Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. So now you can watch the entire saga from beginning to end, even though it never really ends because more is coming, but alright. Today's drop includes the sub and dub of Dragon Ball, the dub of Dragon Ball Z, and the sub and dub of Dragon Ball GT. For English speaking, and I gotta say something so bad, but I'm gonna finish this. Regions excluding the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Nordics, start powering up and dive in below. And again, it's just imagery of Dragon Ball Z, GT with links and whatnot. This is 100% 1,000%, 1,000,000,000,000% something very, very important, aside from the fact that, hey, Dragon Ball is available on this platform now. Really, really awesome stuff. This right here 100% confirms what we kind of already can assume, but 1,000,000,000% pushes it through, that Funimation is absolutely dissolving. And what I mean by that, because you're like, yo, what does that have to do? Dragon Ball has been the one ace in the hole. Dragon Ball Z in particular, but then as time went on, the entire IP from Dragon Ball to Super and where we're at right now with the movie and all that, just like all of that has always been Funimation's ace in the hole, that you could say whatever. 1,000,000 titles will flop, but they'll re-release Dragon Ball Z and make up the profits for all the losses that those titles did. So like if they license 5 of the springtime anime or whatever, and all 5 of them flop, they're just, oh, okay, we're re-releasing Dragon Ball in another version. And granted, don't get me wrong, I've criticized the releases that needed to be criticized, so it's not that I'm saying it's acceptable. I'm saying from a business standpoint, like that's always been their ace in the hole. Funimation is going bye-bye. It's so sad, man. You know, I was just talking to somebody about it. Funimation, for me personally, as a child, I have a special bond with it. If there's a company that I can say from a child that I remember and have a special attachment to, was Funimation, because when I was younger, my mom used to, and I've told this story before, but I really, is a fond memory of mine. My mom used to take me on Fridays over to Metropolitan Mall, and we would go to a store that used to exist. I don't think it exists anymore, Sam Goody. And I would go, sometimes she would even let me stay home, have an extended weekend, so to speak. Yo, my mom was just the bomb. She would let me stay home on a Friday, and we would go to Sam Goody. She would let me buy the new Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes. The tapes were with episodes way before what was broadcasting on Cartoon Network, and it was just a phenomenal time. And I'll pop in those tapes and you would see Funimation's logo, and it was just, Funimation was, and it just dawned on me with this whole idea that it's dissolving into Crunchyroll and Sony's umbrella, so to speak, is the fact that Funimation is a company I grew up with. I really did have an attachment. I think that's also why when, issues that I don't want to get too much into, to be honest with you, because I try to stay away from drama and all that, but when all the stuff happened a couple of years ago between myself and some of the voice actors that are prominent for, being with Funimation, like Sean Schimmel and Chris Sabat and all that stuff, maybe that's also why personally it struck a lot harder for me, because I grew up with not only Dragon Ball Z with them being the voice, I grew up with it was the whole thing, man. It was the whole Funimation thing. When I used to go to the Dragon Ball Z website back in the day, early 2000s, before there was no social media or apps or anything like that, and I would see the voice actor, I'd be like, oh god, that's him, wow, that's crazy. And then when it dawned on me that he was Yamcha Piccolo, I was like, oh god, wow, how they do that, how is he voicing 2 characters? Like, it was mind-blowing to me. So it was the whole Funimation experience from when I was younger, and it's crazy. It's going bye-bye. It's going bye-bye, and we're gonna see the change in the near future of anime. I think in terms of the way we've traditionally had it is once again going to keep on morphing. I think streaming era is going to be here for the next couple decades at the very least, until a new technology is born where there's like, no, now it's holograms. You just stream the hologram or whatever the case may be. But until we get to that point, the streaming era is definitely here. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of lost my train of thought. Essentially, Funimation is going away, and sad honestly. I know there's a lot of people that have the vendettas over all the stuff, the Vic Mignogna stuff and all that, and I get it. I'm talking about for a nostalgic reason, for me growing up and stuff like that. We could even see with Funimation going bye-bye and the ties and relationships and all that it had built and whatnot, we could see really the end, especially with streaming of, again, Toonami, this time for good. Adult Swim and Toonami, like cable is on its last legs little by little. So yeah, I don't know, it's a new day and age, and yeah, shout outs to the good times that I did have with Funimation, the times where I partnered with Funimation, the times where I used to go to their red carpet events and premieres for the Dragon Ball films. Shout outs to all those times. Shout outs to everybody that was involved in the Funimation experience and the people I met along the way, the Justin Rojas, the Jay Hairston. Like, shout outs to just everybody over there, man, that I met along the way. But it looks like little by little, and not even little by little, it's pretty much a certified time is ticking. Funimation is out the door. Kind of crazy. Okay, people, next up is another kind of sad story. I didn't realize I had them back to back, but we got another sad story. This time it's regarding what happened back in 2019. The Kyo Annie fires. That was very, very devastating. Lost lives that day. It was terrible. An arsonist pretty much burnt down the Kyoto Animation Studio for whatever reasons. And yeah, It was a bad situation, honestly. RIP to all the people that were lost that day over that tragic incident. However, according to this, it seems as though probably Kyoto Animation, at the very least, the way it used to be, will no longer exist. Because it seemingly has closed its doors. It just says here, Kyoto Animation closes physical store permanently. Studio closed after a deadly arson back in 2019. Continued to be closed after due to the COVID. You know, they've done stuff like A Silent Voice, Violet Evergarden, like really beautiful, gorgeous films and stuff. And wow, it's crazy to think that they're closing their doors. They brought big titles, and I know that they're doing things digitally now, and maybe that could be the future, and maybe that, yeah, the physical store is gone, but they're going to go the route that kind of everything feels like it's going inevitably anyway. It feels like little by little people aren't going to work in offices anymore. Everybody's going to work remote. I feel like that's the new direction that the world is heading in, so they're kind of getting a head start. But it's tragic and sad all around. Again, a lot of jobs is going to be lost because if there's no need for them to be in the office, then a lot of jobs are going to be antiquated, and yeah, all around wild stuff. But it's just really sad, man. It's sad that 3 years later, you know, another tragic thing, the doors got to close permanently. It says, again, the physical store, so still more than likely going to be in the fray. It's just not going to be the way it was. And yeah, just again, RIP to the people that were lost. Kyoto Animation Studio, just wow, just every time I talk about it, it gets me really emotional and sad. Let's move on. Okay, this next story is a story that, not this story in particular, but a similar story that I've covered several times throughout the years, and I was shocked to see because I was like, in 2022, really? Like, okay, yeah, I've heard of Death Note, right? Death Note, it dropped in Japan like in 07. I think it made its way over here a few years later. I forget how it happened. I wasn't really too active on the scene at that particular point, but, you know, Death Note, long time ago now, it still gets mentioned, it still gets revered as awesome, it's still a dope experience and whatnot, but just in general, Death Note, it almost feels at this point as like it's old school in a way, in a weird way. It does feel that way because, like, just look at it. If let's just say Death Note, okay, came out like 06, 07, we're in 2022. For crying out loud, sometimes I talk about the fact that I'm mind blown that My Hero Academia and Black Clover are like 6-7 years in for each series, which is like they feel like they're new guns. So if they're already kind of like veterans over there in Shonen Jump, then what the hell does that make Death Note from 06, 07? That shit is, I don't want to say a fossil and a dinosaur, but goddamn, it's old at this particular point. So nowadays when I hear this story come up again, I'm like, but are kids really doing that anymore? Like, are kids even watching this show anymore? I mean, I guess technically because anime is massively on the rise and people of all ages are starting to get into the medium and genre, maybe new people are discovering it, and that's what's happening here, which kind of for the most part would make the most sense. But it's just bizarre because basically another student was reprimanded and got in big trouble over a Death Note type of scenario in terms of like writing people's names in a book that says Death Note. Let's read the article. Student disciplined after writing list inspired by Death Note, Rockingham County School says. Rockingham County, NC, a student is being disciplined after writing a Death Note, according to the school district. On Tuesday, staff at Rockingham County Middle School was told about a student writing inappropriate things on a list about how people should pass away. According to the release, the student got the idea from the show, quote-unquote, Death Note. Some students found the list threatening, and the students responsible for the list is being disciplined. RCS says they have their district crisis team working with the school, and they are following established processes for a quote-unquote behavioral threat assessment. They also notified the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, which tweeted that they had investigated the situation and found it did not rise to the level of a crime, and that the school would be handling the situation from there. All students are safe, no student or faculty member were harmed, and no weapons were found. Death Note is a 2006 anime about a teenage boy who discovers a notebook capable of killing anyone whose name is written into it and uses it to kill criminals. It was adapted into live action. Oh shit, I forgot. So yeah, there was a refresher or revival, so to speak, in 2017 with the live action. So it could be that he just saw the live action, having been scrolling through Netflix. Did it say, wait, so he was a middle school student, if I'm not mistaken, right? That is so strange. How is a middle school student, okay, I'm not gonna be completely like, whoa, because at the end of the day, my nephew is middle school and he's been watching anime all his life. But that's the thing, he's been watching anime all his life, and I'm very involved in my nieces and nephews' life to the best of my ability, to where I try my best to teach them, like, yo, you know, and at the end of the day, at this point in life, they kind of already know. It's like, hey, this is your uncle's common sense, this is your family's common sense. The common sense is that this ain't real. So they understand that, and they've been cognitive of that for a long time. So in that aspect, the age thing, should it really be an excuse? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just wondering again, how did, like, not every family has Uncle Fornev, you know what I'm saying, to put their middle school kids into anime and shit like that. So again, I'm just like, how? It has to be that damn live action film, yo. But also, in general, going back to it, it just feels like, well, what are the details? Has this kid been bullied recently? What did he write their deaths? I know, I get it, Death Note, and he shouldn't, regardless, he shouldn't be writing anything, but, like, did he write something alarming? Did he write something like he wants to, you know what I'm saying? Does he want to cause harm to people in the school? Like, there's a lot of questions to be asked. I used to look at this a little bit differently. I used to look at it like, yo, it's just a Death Note, and to a certain degree, yeah, and a lot of these kids, they should be cognitive, especially if you're in middle school. By now, you should understand, like, yo, it's just a show, you shouldn't be doing that, you're gonna get in trouble, you do some shit like that. But at the same time, you know, they are taking it a little bit extreme with all of that. But considering all of the crimes of people going to schools and stuff like that, school, you know what I'm saying, shooters and shit like that, like, if that's been happening, they probably were on the mark just to be safe. I'm gonna just keep it real. I prefer for them nowadays, the climate nowadays, be safe and catch him before it could turn into something else. So that's the, I guess, the adult's family parent brain of mine, of like, I'm kind of glad in a way that they're catching him. I don't think he should be severely punished, and I'm glad that the cops were like, yo, he didn't commit a crime, but now we could keep an eye on this kid and, you know, get him the counseling and whatever else it needs for him to understand, well, why do you want these people dead? Was it just a joke? If it was just a joke with friends, that's a different story as well. So a lot of details are missing before I can make a complete judgment, other than yeah, another one of these stories passing around. Kids, anybody, don't write on Death Notes, even if you're not in the school. Like, imagine you just write on a book that says Death Note and lists of people, and they find it, they're gonna be like, this motherfucker's crazy, like, even out of school. So, you know, it is what it is. Either way, yeah, another student gets in trouble for Death Note. Okay, people, and last but not least, actually two stories, because there was a couple of celebrity stories that I recently saw. One of them, I'm like, what the hell? The other one, I'm like, what the hell? Because two celebrities recently were involved in some type of anime related things, and I feel like we should create a segment like Celeb Anime Radar or some shit like that. Somebody recommend a name for this little segment, and anytime there's a celeb that is either repping anime, doing something regarding anime, we'll report on it and we'll talk about it, and it'll lead to whatever conversation it leads to. But yeah, recommend me a name for the segment. For now, we'll just go with the Celeb Anime Radar. And right now, for starters, we got one, Billie Eilish. Apparently, Billie Eilish wore a Fire Force shirt at a concert, and it very well could just be somebody gave her a Fire Force shirt. It could be, hey, branding wise, like, yo, you kind of fit in the anime scene, you should totally, you know, you got a lot of anime fans that love your music, so she did that. Or it could very well be that she's a Fire Force fan. I could definitely see it, and that'd be so dope. Like, imagine kicking it with Billie Eilish and watching some anime or some shit. That'd be kind of low-key fire. Billie Eilish has always had that, like, swagger and spirit, like, yo, you kind of want to kick it with Billie Eilish, you know what I'm saying? So shout outs and salutes to Billie Eilish with the Fire Force agenda. I mean, she got great taste. And then we got another one, I don't even want to say rising star, because he's had some hits. He's just not in the realm of, like, artists that I'm particularly into per se, but I don't got necessarily any bad blood for him, and I'd be willing to check out more of his music. He does have one song that I really like. That was like that R.I.P. song to Juice or something like that, trying to get over somebody's stuff. Like, that shit was very powerful. But it says here, the Kid Laroi announced a collaboration with Tokyo Revengers. A special movie linking the story of Tokyo Revengers and the lyrics of the Kid Laroi Stay will be released soon. So maybe he's just doing like something inspired, or is it like an official announced a collaboration with Tokyo? Maybe it's just that he's doing something like inspired, and there's like an image of Mikey, and then on the other side is the Kid Laroi with Justin Bieber, which I'm not gonna lie, marketing wise, that is absolutely genius, and I could see this taking off. I mean, my guys ain't gonna be listening. I'll just keep it above with you. My peoples, unless it's like some really, like, I don't know, it got some swag and a vibe, and of course when the ladies are around, because I can see that they're probably gonna make a record for the ladies. Like, yeah, you know, I be listening to it, but me and my fellas ain't listening. I ain't go up front. And that's kind of, I guess, in a way, a bad combo for Tokyo Revengers. Like, you ideally want somebody like really metal or hardcore, somebody epic like that, and it's like, You know, we got two, like Kid Leroy is, you know, singy guy. Bieber, he had his badass moments, quote unquote, I guess, but it's Bieber, so. Celeb Radar, again, Kid Leroy, a Tokyo Revengers collab crossover, and also Billie Eilish wearing a Fire Force shirt. What the hell world we coming to? Although I ain't gonna lie, Billie Eilish, rep it. But yeah, people, those were all the stories we had for today's episode. I'm curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, something I didn't talk about that you're like, Fornev, come on, dog, please talk about it. Let me know. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and you guys just watched another episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I'm just saying, do your boy a favor. Come on, help a brother out. Yeah. Have an awesome one.
So just go to